and parents were pushing me to go and study science and take a path into medicine. And more or less, maybe I rebelled against that.
I think everyone should have that equal chance, that equal start, and I used to think that they didn't.
There are a variety of opportunities to work with young people, to work with older people, to work with a huge variance of needs.
When I was 14, I've had encounters with social work when I was a child, and for me it was a replacement mother at that time, and that was important to me because although she was not a kind of glamour and glitz kind of person, she brought that little, at that age in my life, the most important, most vital thing, and that was attention, giving me that little bit of attention and letting me draw and explain to her what I drew, and just talking to me. And that was social work when I was 14 years old.
I ended up joining the army, and I remember when I joined the British Army in 2003 and went through the army. I served in the army for almost 7 years, then decided it's time to do something different. But I always had an urge to help other people, so I had to think carefully of the right course to go for. And I went through loads of courses, what the potential jobs at the end of the courses would be, what you end up doing, and the career prospects and everything. And the social work was something that stood out to me.
I suppose what became apparent from me as a young man was I knew what I didn't want to do. And while I knew what I didn't want to do, I knew what I enjoyed doing on a day-to-day basis. I've always been a very sociable person. I've always liked meeting people. I've always liked engaging with people. And while I didn't know the specific career that best suited me around that, what I knew in my heart of heart was how I enjoy engaging and helping people and making a difference. And it was only through time I discovered that social work was the best career to suit those needs for me.
It's very well saying go where your heart is. You've got to be sensible, and the thing is look into it in great detail, because as much as I can't wait to start, and I can't wait to get stuck into it, you've got to be 100%, because I think that it is also a job that you're going to see a lot of bad things. So you've got to be 100%. Your parents will always want the best for you. They'll always try and put you in the right direction. 9 times out of 10 they do. But you've got to make that decision. And to be quite honest, when you start, or if you start, you'll have a fantastic time. You meet a lot of people, and it will open your eyes to what really goes on out there.
Social work doesn't work in isolation. We are more or less impacted by what is happening in the news, in the current affairs all over the place. So for example, there's issue of there's a huge amount of unaccompanied minors, asylum-seeking minors, because of what is going on in the news, as we all are aware of at the moment. And as social workers, you have to be in touch with these developing trends, and you have to work to meet the needs of these young people.
With a social work degree, you could possibly go into business, private social enterprise, working for government agencies or private agencies, working in care industry.
You can work with young people, you can work with adults, you can work directly with the population and the communities, or you can work internally within the business, learning and development, supporting foster carers.
I'm trying to get into the fields of therapy. I'm quite interested in the brain and how we become who we are, and also how children develop. And so that is a field that I'll try to get into, the field of psychotherapy and all those sort of things to do with the brain. It's something that I want to get into, as well as not losing sight of the management aspirations. And after all that experience, I think I'll feel ready enough to get back into academia to give something back to social work, which has so far given me so much.
There are particular things that interest me, especially adoption and fostering. Other fields that I'm interested in is mental health and prison services.
There are opportunities to go up the ladder. I chose to go into management. Some people choose to go into the voluntary sector. Some people choose to do sideways moves and go into training and development.
With this progression, this natural progression in your career, comes increased salaries, incentives, traveling, possibly other skills or expansions, other courses you can do. You can go on to your masters. You can do your PhD, you can specialize anything specific, and with that is the financial incentives as well. The thing that stood out for me when I joined is a lot of our lecturers said that the financial aspect shouldn't be the central motivation because of the type of profession social work is. But it is there, and it's always kept in mind because I'm a family man and I like my family to be comfortable, and I like certain things like everyone else.
There's huge levels of satisfaction and rewards from seeing, I work with children and families, seeing children grow and develop, children becoming safer and more secure, and children whose life chances are much more solid as a result of your intervention.
What society thinks is correct for what you're supposed to do.
Go ahead and do it.
You don't want to be normal.
Just turn up.
Well, I think I've always been interested in the human body.
A lot of sports require chiropractor now.